Welcome to this tutorial on creating group discussions in Desire to Learn version 10.2. So the first thing we'll do is go in under our communication button. And if we scroll down about 3/4 of the way down the page, there's going to be a link titled Groups. So if we select the Groups link, we can go in under the Manage Groups area and we can select New Category. And then it'll bring us into the category information area here where we can put in a category name. So maybe we'll call this Chapter 1 Group Discussion. All right, and you can also go in and put in a description if you wanted to of this group category. But for this demonstration, we're just going to leave that blank. And then we'll get to the enrollment type. So we'll just go over a few of the different enrollment types here. So the first option, number of groups, no auto enrollments. What this does is it allows you to set up your groups based on the number of groups that you want to create. And then you as the instructor would have to go and manually assign the students to the particular groups. The second option, groups of numbers, allows you to set up your groups based on the number of students you would like to have in each group, and then Desire to Learn will automatically distribute the students into the various groups. So if, for example, you had 20 students in your class and you wanted to set it up based on groups of 5, Desire to Learn would automatically it would automatically have those 4 groups created for you, and Desire to Learn would just distribute 5 students into each group. The next option here, number of groups, allows you to set up your groups based on the number of groups that you wanted to create. So again, if you had those 20 students and you wanted to create 4 groups, for example, you could go on, you could select 4 and for the number of groups you want to create, and Desire to Learn would automatically distribute 5 students into each group. The next option here, groups of numbers, self-enrollment. So what this does is it allows you to set up your groups based on the number of students you would like to have in each group, and then the students would go in under the Groups button and enroll themselves in whichever group that they wanted to be a part of. The next option is number of groups, self-enrollment. So what this does is it allows you to set up your groups based on the number of groups you want to create, and then again the students would go under the Groups button and enroll themselves. Now, one thing to keep in mind about this option is if you set up, for example, 3 groups and you want your students to go on and self-enroll in whatever group they want, the students can actually go and everyone can sign up for one group. So with this option, that's just one of the concerns. So to alleviate that, there's this last option, number of groups of numbers, self-enrollment, allows you to set up your groups based on the number of groups you want to set up with a cap on the actual student enrollment in those groups. So what you can do is if you had 20 students in your class and you wanted to set a cap of 5 students in each group, selecting this option would allow you to create 4 groups with a max number of 5 students in each group. But for this demonstration, we're just going to say number of groups, and we're actually just going to go on and we're going to create 2 groups. Now under the advanced properties, we can just expand that area. So if you just click the show advanced properties, the group option. So there's auto enroll new users. So if I check off this little question bubble, it says here, new users enrolled in the course after groups are set up are automatically added to the group with the fewest users. So what this means is that anybody who signs up for your class and shows up on the class list after you've set up your groups will automatically either go into the number of, or the group with the fewest number of students already enrolled in it, or if the student, if the groups have exactly the same number of students in them, it'll just randomly pick a group and put the new student in that group. And then this option, randomize users in groups. It says here, if this option is not selected, users are enrolled based on the order of the class list. So that would probably be alphabetical order based on their last name. If this option is selected, users are enrolled in a random order. So Desire to Learn will just randomly pick the students to go into the various groups. And then under these additional options, if we expand this area, we can go on and select a few options here, but what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up a discussion area because we want to create a group discussion. So if we just check off the set up discussion areas box here and press the save button, we just have to wait a second. It'll bring us into this area here where we can go on and we can create, if we wanted to, we could use an existing forum, or we can press the new forum. So maybe we wanted to go on and create a new forum, and we could call this Chapter 1 discussion continue, because maybe we already have one titled, it appears I already have one titled Chapter 1 discussion forum, so maybe I'll just title this Chapter 1 discussion continued, and if you wanted to, you could put in a description in this box, and then just press the save button, and we'll just say create and next. And you can see that there was a couple of groups created. There was one discussion forum created with 2 forum topics, and then we just press the done button, and it's as easy as that. So when we go in under our communication button, we can go in under discussions, and we can see down here that the Chapter 1 discussion continued area here is all set up, and we have our group 1 and group 2 topics right here, and you can see that there's group restrictions, meaning that this particular group 1 topic is only available to the students in group 1, and this group 2 topic is only available to students in group 2. This concludes the tutorial on creating group discussions in Desire to Learn version 10.2.